I think it was very, very interesting for me to see that the gap between medical students and then clinical work is so big. So even though we see this globally in a lot of countries, my impression was also after this conversation that this is a problem that is especially severe here in India, and I think it is a great opportunity to educate students earlier on clinical skills and to better combine preclinical and clinical knowledge with each other. So I think that was very insightful to me, and I think this is a challenge that I see would help a lot if that would be become slightly better. I feel a lot of great people spoke today, a lot of people who are really, really engaged about this topic. So I think to see the passion of these people and speakers today to make things better makes me hopeful that things are changing. So that's why I think it's so great to bring people together in a room for these topics. There are certain points that are specific to India, but there are also a lot of points that are not specific to India actually, which are medical problems that we see around the world. And I think especially this problem, or like this, the problem that students are studying for their exams. And that is their main focus, that is what they are trained to do, so they do that. And that is often not what they need in clinical reality. That is a typical mismatch. And when we've been building AMBOSS, we had exactly that in mind. So we know that students will study to pass their exams, but we also know, I knew from experience, arriving in the hospital suddenly, that you need different skills. It's not enough to know what you get in tests in your exams. And we try to incorporate that in AMBOSS. So whenever you do something in AMBOSS, no matter if you answer a question or if you read an article, we really try to make it as clinical as possible. So very early on, already starting with pre-medical content, so with really the basics, we try to give the connection to the clinical importance of it. And similar to that, whenever you learn clinical content, we really try to put the clinical skills in it as well, so that you not just repetitively learn whatever medication you need, but to really get a bit more hints on how would that be done clinically, what are challenges clinically, to combine that, for example, with videos or with skills on how to do certain things. So, and I mean, obviously, like a program cannot change medical education completely. So, of course, it has to be a combination of having certain elements very effective, covered, for example, by a tool like AMBOSS, but then, of course, to give room to educators to focus on clinical skills. Because I think that it's needed to have like a better separation between who's doing what, basically, to really have effective education. And especially hearing that the goal is to increase the number of medical students so much. That is obviously like a huge challenge. And I think teaching has to be very effective and very time efficient. And we at AMBOSS have been doing that since more than 10 years by now around the world in different settings. And I think there are a lot of aspects that are like specific to India, but the underlying base, 80% of it, is very similar around the world. And by now we feel very confident that we can help with these challenges, and we would love to do that here in India as well. I mean, I was hoping for a productive conversation. I mean, medical education it's my job, it's in the bottom of my heart, it's my passion. So obviously I want to make that successful and great. And so I expected a conversation. But what I saw have been really, really motivated, driven people, which I found really, really inspiring to see. Because I think, like as you said, like I did not expect so much energy and so much willingness to really improve things and to be also really critical. Because I think the first step is to realize there are challenges and to not pretend it's the best medical education in the world and to say we produce the best doctors in the world by just the great job we are doing, but to say no, there are things which could be better and we should work on them, because only then you can really tackle them. And I think, that was definitely a great conversation that I was allowed to listen to today.